This festival's it's about a lot more than just birds. It's about community, it's about people, it's about collaboration. There's no way to really get to grasslands conservation at scale in this country unless we do it community by community.
I grew up calling them plover.
The mountain plover.
The mountain plover.
The mountain plover.
Mountain plovers.
Mountain plovers.
So I like to say, as the folks are coming into the Plover Festival, all the folks coming in are plover lovers.
Oh, we made the mulch ourselves.
Oh yeah, we expect to see one.
We expect to see one.
And then once the whole weekend has gone by, they're all tired, they're over the plover.
We are a small town. Actually, we're not technically a town, we're a township. We've noticed it's hard to keep the younger generation in town after they graduate. So we were trying to figure out how we could bring light to the town to try to get some businesses, because eventually when all the kids leave, the town ceases to exist. We've figured out that there were a lot of birders that were interested in looking at the plover. So it was mention of doing a birding festival to allow access to birders into private land. Colorado Bird Conservancy comes down.
It's just been an honor and a privilege to be working with the Karval Alliance.
We've got Parks and Wildlife that comes down.
Karval's one of the most intact, well-managed shortgrass prairie systems in all of the United States. If we didn't have these communities here supporting that stewardship of the land, we wouldn't have the wildlife that I think many of you are drawn to come here and see. Private landowners are the stewards of over half of the lands in Colorado. We talk about the term collaborative conservation all the time. We can be in relationship with them and help them understand the wildlife needs and concerns, and they can help us understand their needs and concerns.
I didn't come to this field as a biologist. I came actually off of a ranch myself. So my heart is very, very much in that focus. I think of conservation moving at the speed of trust. And to me, the way that we're going to solve all of these questions and these problems is through building of relationships, partnerships, the collaboration.
When you take wildlife into consideration on the grasslands, it's really obvious that agriculture and wildlife can go hand in hand. I grew up on a ranch just like a half mile north of the town itself. I graduated as one of 4. Karval's not alone in this. Our rural and agricultural communities are aging. The people just moving to the cities for jobs, good paying jobs, because there's fairly little economic opportunity here. It divorces ourselves as a society from nature. Historically, so many more people would have known what the grasslands were about. They would have cared about lesser prairie chickens. They would have cared about mountain plovers. They would have cared about all these species because they saw them.
20 years ago, when people talked about the urban-rural divide, I would say that wasn't a thing, and it feels like it's more and more of a thing. And one of the greatest things I think about this festival is it takes you out of your bubble a little bit both ways, right? It's bringing folks in from non-rural areas to really see what life is like here, and vice versa for folks in rural areas to get a sense of what other folks are thinking about and what their concerns are.
How does it change my life? Well, I go from being strong right to a moderate, realizing that compromise is important. Doing this kind of thing is the most important thing that we can do, is having you folks out here on the ground to see what's going on and the importance of that kind of collaboration. At the end of the day, that's how we take care of the species.
Lived experience is so crucial, especially in rural areas, and that can be difficult for outsiders to see sometimes. Every one of these landowners knows more about their land than you do. You have to have all these pieces, and for grasslands, there's no other way to do it. We just have to work together to conserve it.
I am encouraged by this year. We had to actually cut registration off because we have more people registered than we could actually handle. So the festival is growing, and we're looking forward to the future. They have spotted a plover.
On the horizon to the left of the pole.
But this little
How
dark
far out
mound,
is it?
I gotta find it again. I mean, he was very clear.